Hi everyone, my name is Agus Muhajir. I'm from Indonesia. I'm a student in Kuningan University and I'm taking Department of English Education, and today I'd like to tell you a little bit about prose and poetry. This video dedicated to one of my favorite lecturers, Mrs. Yuniarti, who gave me spirit to study prose and poetry. As we know that prose and poetry are the two kinds of literature, and literature is the pieces of writing that valued as works of art, especially novels, plays, short stories, and poems. At a glance, according to Reader's Workshop, the genres of literature are fiction, non-fiction, poetry, and plays, but here I'm just gonna tell you about fiction and poetry. Even prose divided into two, fiction and non-fiction, but I'm just gonna tell you about fiction. Well, the list of fiction are short stories, novels, and novellas. A short story is a story which relatively short. For example, The Monkey's Paw by W. Jacob. The story tells about a mother who depressed by losing her son, and she was expecting her son to live again for the second time by hope and praise to the monkey's paw, but it doesn't work. And the second one is novels. A novel is a very long story like a book. I don't really like to read a novel because it's a very long story and sometimes make me bored. Unfortunately, my partner loves novels, and one of my favorite lecturers asked me to read and review a novel, and moreover, the title was Boy Meets Boy by David Levitan. When I saw the cover of the book, I said, "Oh my God, what are you gonna do with this book? It's crazy boy meets boy." It was hard, difficult it was, but just take it easy and let's do it anyway. The story tells about teenager relationship, a wrong relationship between two boys, Paul and Noah. I don't feel like to discuss it, to be honest, because I just can't imagine if it happens to us, everyone. He kissed me and I kiss him back. And the last one is novellas. A novella is a story which longer than short stories and shorter than novels. For example, Three Blind Mice by Agatha Christie. I don't know what the story tells about because I never read it, but I think it could be nice to read. Well, talking about fiction, so let's find out what the elements of fiction are. The first one is plot and conflict. The second one is character and point of view. The third one is setting and mood, and the last one is time and symbol. Plot and conflict. A plot or the series of events in a story typically include 5 stages: exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. In the exposition, usually introduce the setting and the characters and begins to reveal the conflict. And then in the rising action, usually introduce obstacles that make the conflict more complicated and build suspense as the plot thickens. And then climax. Climax is the turning point in the story and the moment of greatest suspense, also presents the conflict to be most intense and dramatic. The next one is falling action. In this stage, reveals the outcome of the climax and eases the tension, also shows how the main character resolves the conflict. And the last one is resolution. This is the end of the story, reveals the story's final outcome. However, a story sometimes ends just on climax, without falling action or resolution, just on climax, but it's pretty okay, it depends on the writer. Perhaps they want the readers to be enthusiastic to read the next story or the next series of a story. Well, the second element of fiction is character and point of view. Point of view can affect your understanding of characters, and there are three kinds of point of view: first person point of view, third person limited point of view, and third person omniscient point of view. For the first person point of view, the narrator is a main or minor character in the story and share his or her thoughts, feelings, and opinions of other characters and events, and doesn't know the thoughts, feelings, and opinions of other characters. And then the second one is third person limited point of view. For the third person limited point of view, the narrator is not a character in the story but an outside observer. Zooms in or look in more details to the thoughts and feelings and opinions of one character in the story, just one character. And the last one is third person omniscient point of view. For the third person omniscient point of view, the narrator is not a character in the story but an outside observer, same as the third person limited point of view, but she or he is all-knowing. Doesn't mean Mr. or Mrs. Know-it-all, but she or he is all-knowing, has access to the thoughts, feelings, and opinions of all the characters in the story. The next element of fiction is setting and mood. As we know that the setting of the story is the time and place. The time can be a particular season, time of the day, or historical period. And the place can be anywhere. In the class, school, library, on the street, anywhere. The place can be anywhere. Here, setting can affect characters and setting can create conflicts. Setting can affect characters by influencing their values, attitudes, and emotion. Then setting can create conflicts by exposing the character to the dangers, weather, or natural disaster. Then make them live through difficult situations such as unobject poverty or war. For example, in The Memory Boy, a novel by Will Weber, which the story tells about volcanic explosion. On the one hand, one of the characters, Sarah, said, "Everybody's gonna die," but on the other hand, said, "Nobody's gonna die." That means setting can create conflict between two different characters. Everybody's gonna die, nobody's gonna die. And we can see that Sarah, who said everybody's gonna die, looks pessimistic. Meanwhile, the characters who said nobody's gonna die looks optimistic. That's the setting. What about mood? Mood is the atmosphere that create for readers. It can be exciting or terrifying. For example, I walk alone in the dark forest, heard leaves crunching, and my heart hammered. Well, the last element of fiction is theme and symbol. Theme is a message about life, not a topic. Theme is not a topic. When topic wrote by one or two words, it can be create one or two sentences and more. For example, in a short story by Judith Ortiz cover, the abuelas invents the zero. The symbol is zero. Zero is represent nothing. And the theme of this short story is show your politeness, your respect, and good manner to your family, whether it be father, your mother, grandmother, because if you don't, you are going to be disappointed. Well, that's all about fiction. What about poetry? I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say just yet, so see you on the second video. And don't be greedy, share with your friends. Bye.